What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Fired Up.
What up? What up?
And we have a compact episode here today.
Right.
And let's get right into, again, hit the like button. I always got to put that disclaimer in there. Hit the like button, subscribe.
And make some comments if
Make
possible.
some comments.
Yep.
And I know a lot of you guys know me personally, but still, get them comments in there. There's a lot of people that don't know you people, so let's get right into it, man. NBA in China once again back in the news. This time, it's not nothing major, but they're not actually broadcasting any of the games. Mm-hmm. So they're really taking this to like a new personal level here. So, Berick, your take on that real quick, and then we'll jump into the Lakers.
No, I mean, the bottom line is, they're going to stand pat on their belief that when someone makes a comment about what's going on politically in their country, they want to make sure they make it very clear that we will say what we think is right or wrong. We'll stand for what we believe in, but we're not going to sit there and double take ourselves, or better said, talk out of both sides of our mouths by airing the basketball game. So they basically sticking to their whole guns on this one, and I don't blame them for doing that. But ultimately, I think at the end of the day, the NBA and China should find ways to work this out moving forward. I think both of them will work well for one another in more regards moving forward. And if you don't, well, I guess the NBA will find a way to make it without China. But I know one thing for sure, NBA does not want to make it without China. So, right now China's doing what they got to do is stand pat. So hopefully they can work some things out moving forward.
All right, let's get into it. The LA Lakers and the Clippers. NBA opening night.
Yep.
Oh man. So who is the best team?
The king of the West right now.
The king of the West. Well, is it the Lakers or is it the Clippers? Now understand it's just one game. It's one game, and I advise
we're creatures of the now. Everybody's creatures of the now. Right now, everyone's going to see the Clippers. I'm going to see the Clippers. Well, actually, I picked them to come out the West anyway.
Okay.
But is this indicative of what's going to happen 81 games from now? We don't know.
Now, you watched the game. What were some things that you actually seen from the Lakers and the Clippers? I'll give you my observations on it.
Well, I mean, from the Laker point of view, listen, the 1-2 punch of LeBron James and Anthony Davis, they provide the spark that most Laker fans are hoping for moving forward. They didn't have great guard play. Defensively, they were aggressive on the board.
They're great defensively, yeah.
But I think by the time the fourth quarter came out there, you started to see why we have a problem with the Lakers not coming out the West. There was no bench. There was no one to facilitate the basketball around to get the ball into AD or into LeBron.
LeBron is the facilitator. That's the problem.
But that's the
we were
problem
talking about that yesterday.
Yeah, he cannot be the facilitator. And I think you can just look at that and tell you cannot be the facilitator.
Not that he's not capable of being a facilitator, but
he's 30-something years old. He doesn't need to create no more. He needs to be in a position where he can set up, get the offense going. He can be part of the offense. But to set it up and then be a part of the offense is what wears most of these players out. It's the same thing in football with a running back. After about 5-6 years, he may not be much to you because all the pounding is taken. So it's the same thing that equates to a point guard who is also involved with the offense itself, or mostly responsible for the offense. So that's my take on the Lakers. Now, as far as the Clippers are concerned, well, Kyrie got off to a slow start, didn't he? And it didn't really matter because you had Harold. You had Lou Williams. You had all these guys getting busy. And then Kawhi took over. And then they finished the game off with ferocious defensive play. Getting turnovers when they needed to, making key shots when they had to. Kawhi winning his one-on-one matchups. We know there's a difference because PG-13 didn't play. He didn't play. He won't be back until early December. And this is what the Clippers look like already?
Now, it's only one game. I don't want anybody... I got hoodwinked in the 2014-2015 season when Brooklyn Nets had put together that SI cover roster of Brook Lopez and Joe Johnson, Darren Williams, and Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett. And they beat the Miami Heat 4 times in the regular season. I was like, well, okay, baby. So this team is going to win a championship. I was like, yes! And then what happened in the playoffs, round 2? Only won one game. Gentleman's sweep. So let's not get hoodwinked by the regular season, especially the start of the season too, because it's only one game, and this is actually even like let's say game 1 to game 2, it's an extension of the preseason in a sense. But my observations from the Lakers, and this is what I was talking about in previous shows. One, Anthony Davis and McGee can't start. They can't. Anthony Davis has to play the 5. I know he doesn't like doing that, but in terms of to provide the adequate
play the 4.
Yeah, but you can't have JaVale McGee. The paint's too clogged. LeBron can't operate.
Frank Vogel's experimenting right now. He really doesn't have. See, when you're experimenting,
you can't experiment in the West, man. You see how the West
that
is
means
loaded.
what? That means what? He has no answer right now. He has no legitimate answer who's his starting 5 is. Rondo was on the bench in street clothes. That's your point guard. And listen, Rondo is barely reliable. I mean, he's always injured.
Well, he said he's been diligently working on his 3-point shot. I mean, he really worked on it when Jason Kidd was on that Knicks team, and he was shooting like almost 40% from catching.
That whole Knicks team was leading the league in 3-point attempts that year. So,
but Jason Kidd was like, I mean, come on, yeah.
But listen, you need a point guard. It's so important to watch any team operate without one, because you don't have that many in the league right now. Anyway, to be quite honest with you, I mean, legitimate point guards, guys who are going to get the points and the assists, but more or less the assists. And get the offense going.
Looking at these statistics here, Danny Green was actually your best player on the Lakers. 28 points. He was a +7 from plus minuses, +7. I mean, everybody else is pretty much abysmal. I mean, Jared Dudley, a -20.
Listen, I look at numbers too, but I know what my eyes told me. My eyes told me this team's going to bottom out if they don't solidify that bench. We can look at all the numbers all we want. The Lakers are going to bottom out if they don't take care of
the numbers are abysmal. It's just like...
They conked out in the 4th quarter. Listen, LeBron and AD will combine 1 for 6 from the field in the 4th quarter. Does that not tell you they bottomed out?
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Is that going to happen practically every night? No.
And what is everybody saying that I said about a couple of weeks ago? That LeBron doesn't look the same. The athleticism isn't there.
We're going to start this old stuff. I mean, everybody gets old. Father Time's undefeated, bro.
Yeah, but he was missing a lot of layups. I'm like, LeBron, I mean, he's supposed to finish those, man. I mean...
It's part of the preseason, cut down to 4 games. You don't want to play it. We talked about off camera, too. We went at that.
Well, this was going back to last year, maybe 25 games before he got hurt. I'm not talking about this year. These are my observations from last season before he got hurt.
Yeah, but you got to divorce it now because you had time in the offseason to get your body together.
Yeah.
He didn't play in the Olympics.
So he looks. I mean, he's been he's been in the league 17 years. 17 years now.
Okay, and in 17 years, you're not going to get tired?
Absolutely, I agree.
Pushing that ball up the floor.
I agree.
Fight picks, running around screens.
I agree.
You're going to be tired by now?
And like I said, Anthony Davis, and this is what we were talking about this last week, he needs to make plays, not just score. And he needs to actually, they're going to run a lot of the offense through Anthony Davis. One, they don't want Anthony Davis just being out there a catch-and-shoot player like how LeBron neutered Kevin Love and Chris Bosh, relegated them to just 3-point shooters, and they weren't happy with that.
The new league has changed, bro.
Yeah. So now you don't want Anthony Davis doing that because remember, Anthony Davis is on a rental, Berick. As you talked about this back when they acquired him. This is a rental. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing too, because now apparently AD's representatives have said a few days back that they might be reconsidering just sitting there staying in L.A. Well, we'll find out when the season ends, if that's true or not.
Yeah.
But if he does decide to stay in L.A., then we really don't have much of a free agent. The only major free agent coming out in the next year.
He was talking about this he
was.
In June.
That's right.
He was talking about Chicago. And look, Larry Marketing yesterday had a beast of a game yesterday. 35 points, 17 rebounds. And I'm very bullish on Larry Marketing. I mean, he's... Whew.
Well, you got Levine over there too. He's supposed to be.
He's improving. He's improving.
But I mean, ultimately, we're not gonna worry about free agency right now. The biggest free agent market just came and passed. Let's be honest. But you're gonna have possibly AD, and next year you're gonna have Giannis. But Milwaukee's gonna re-sign him. Other than that,
he's actually questioning that too because they had let Brogdon go.
And Brogdon had a good day for Indiana yesterday.
Yeah.
They didn't win, but
they let Brogdon go.
And we went on
Mirotic was actually the key component for me. But go ahead.
No, I was saying last week we hit on it that when we talked about where teams listed from top to bottom in each conference, I said the Milwaukee Bucks are going to seriously, if anybody's going to really reap what they sow from who they're missing, it's going to be Milwaukee losing Brogdon.
And Mirotic.
And Mirotic. But you know what? We're going to see how Milwaukee covers that up. Right now, they're still number one in my book until otherwise proven differently. But yeah, go on what you was going to say.
What was I going to say? I think I was going to get into...
You're going to go on the Clippers side now, because I already covered the Clippers. Them boys are good.
Oh, they are, man. You look at, the only thing about the Clippers is that they don't have a true point. You know, Patrick Beverly's not that.
I don't think any
maybe
team in
Paul
this league
George
has a point.
No, I mean they don't have like a a Steph, a Kyrie, a Damian Lillard, a John Morant who actually looked pretty good and
dropped 14 points last night.
4
for 18 shooting. He ain't looked that good. RJ Barrett did a hell of a lot better job.
We're going to get into RJ Barrett. We're going to get into RJ Barrett.
All right.
We're going to get into him.
That boy looked good too.
I'm definitely going to get into him because that's part of my bag of notes.
He came up with that. That wasn't two. That wasn't both our idea. That was his idea.
I'm glad you're giving me the credit for that. Yeah. All right, so, but only thing with the Clippers is that they don't have a real true point guard, and I think Paul George can bring the ball up and make plays. But that's the only knock. But you're talking about Patrick Beverly, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard. I mean, these are three, great on the ball defenders and.
Kawhi Leonard's be considered probably the best basketball player in the league right now.
Absolutely.
I think it's fair to say that right now. I think it's fair to say that.
Yeah. I think it would be Kevin Durant if he's not hurt, though, but
I seen him walking around last night. That man don't look like he's ready to play.
Yeah.
It was a serious limp on that bad boy. He ain't ready to play.
All right. So Zion, Berick here made an unfortunate but accurate prediction.
The crystal ball that was there. Yeah. The crystal ball that was there on Zion. But go ahead. What was you going to say?
Yeah, hurt 6 to 8 weeks, a slightly torn meniscus, and Berick called this one out. And unfortunately, we don't want to be right on stuff like this.
No, I'm not going to take
accurate. Like pleasure on really good, positive things, though.
Yeah.
So
if it seemed that way, it's only because everybody's killing me. Why did the Knicks draft him? Well, we didn't get a chance to draft him. We didn't get the number one pick. That's number one. But I hope for that man to have a great career. I think he will.
And Berick and I, off camera, we got into like a real heated debate on Zion Williamson. Mm-hmm. And can you refresh your recollection, please, Berick? On
well, my whole assessment on why I think Zion will have problems throughout his career is because of the fact that he plays extremely hard on his body. Now, of course, Rashid is basically arguing that, well, with time and practice, he has time to get himself together, work on certain points of his shots. Now, I feel the same way to a degree. However, the preseason games got knocked down to 4 games. He was playing extremely hard in those preseason games. I also argue that most teams don't play full defense in the preseason, nor do they give up themselves in regards to what they're going to plan on doing during the regular season. So they keep their game plan to their chest right now on that. With that being said, why is Zion playing the majority of minutes? Why is Zion playing extremely hard in games that are meaningless? That was my concern. Now, the NBA paid for 7 evening games, 7 night games, well-covered games on the New Orleans Pelicans, right?
The networks.
Okay.
Yeah.
To see this guy because he's going to be box office.
Yes.
Now he's not there. For either one of these games that are scheduled between now and Christmas. Now they got to figure out how they're going to reschedule these games because Zion won't be there. And furthermore, the last piece I have to say to it is that because of this fact, he's not even available to play the whole season because of the fact that he had knee issues going into the draft. Remember, he missed 5 games at Duke last year. Came back strong in the tournament, but they got knocked out.
Same knee, practically.
Same knee.
Yeah.
And he's 284 pounds. This man plays, in my personal opinion, with reckless abandonment because,
And we've seen it with Derrick Rose, right? Derrick Rose had the same type of fast
just
twitch
jumping
muscles.
up hard on his legs, and he tore it up, and now he wasn't the same.
Yeah. Well, when Derrick Rose looked good last night, man, 18 points, 5 assists.
Yeah,
he looked like little flashbacks.
But he won't have that MVP. He won't have that MVP caliber talent he had the year he did win the MVP.
All right, so my next question to you, Berick, you being a devoted, true Knicks fan here, did the Knicks dodge a bullet?
Yo, man, you gonna ask that question right now, man?
Yes, sir, I am. Man.
Why you ask that question for? Because this is too soon to even tell we dodged the bullet. Well, like I said,
I'm looking at RJ Barrett last night.
And what did I tell you off camera months ago about RJ?
Yes.
He's going to be a surprise.
You see me
right?
smiling here, right?
Okay.
You see me smiling.
All right. Just saying. I said we're
and
fine
listen,
with
I was talking about the pick, the number 1 pick.
We had to get Zion.
We had to get Zion. I was talking about the law of attraction to Berick, and he wasn't taking it seriously, serious enough. And law of attraction. This is Edison and Einstein. If you actually think about something really hard.
I didn't want to go with this. All right, here you go.
Think about something really hard, your brain puts out frequencies like, it puts out signals similar to what radio waves.
How come there wasn't enough signals on the day?
And that's I'm getting to that.
I just want. Okay, so
let me finish. Let me finish now. Hold on. Let me finish now. But sometimes law of attraction doesn't work exactly the way how you actually see it planned. Now, I said, okay, well, damn, that's bad. That sucks. You're not going to get Zion. But sometimes there's a reason. Sometimes it takes something bad to actually happen for something good to actually happen. Exactly. Good to come out of it. So it's like, 'cause I wanted all the Knicks fans. I mean, there's a lot of Knicks fans here watching this. What they call, when people think about something all at one time, it's called a mastermind. This is what Napoleon Hill actually he calls it.
Unreal, bro. Unreal.
But looking at RJ Barrett, I love his upside. He can go right, he can go left, he can shoot the 3, and his ceiling to me, in terms of lasting longer in the league than Zion, is definitely much higher because he brings a certain skill set where he doesn't really. He has a little teardrop. He can avoid contact. I mean, Zion has to rely on contact.
He's 19 years old. He has an NBA ready body.
Yes.
Okay, let's make sure we are very much on point with RJ Barrett. He has an NBA ready body. And he's 19. Did you see the way he performed last night?
Yeah.
For a 19-year-old?
Yeah.
No fear whatsoever. I'm going.
I was watching. I said, okay, he was going to his left
a lot.
Said,
he's a left-handed player.
He's a left-handed player. So I said, when are they gonna start forcing him right? They started forcing him right. He can go to his right hand.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. I was like,
if I'm a Knicks fan, I'm happy with my pick.
And I'm not a Knicks fan, and I'm happy with the pick.
I'm happy with my pick. For once, we got the pick right.
For once, you got it right.
Okay, but now we gotta get everything else right.
That's true. That's true.
Gotta get everything else right. Oh,
they took the San Antonio Spurs to the wire.
Yeah.
A little bit, and then naturally, like young teams.
Kevin Knox was bad on defense. He was being taken to the basket last night. We gotta work on Knox's defense. Although I like Knox's approach on offense, he did hit some shots. He did attack the basket time.
Yeah.
So I do like his approach on offense. His defense got to get better. We need him. He's one of the young guys. Supposed to be part of the future of this team. But more importantly, I think what happened with the Knicks last night is that they definitely need a point guard. There's no point guard on that team.
No, Frank Ntilikina. Give him some. Listen, he had a great World Cup. I mean, come on.
Yeah, well, was it? See, he didn't get that much time on the floor last night. What's up with that? What's going on with that?
Ask Fizdale that.
Ask Fizdale. And if Fizdale's not putting him in the game, is it because of the matchup? Possibly. But, I mean, if he's going to be your point guard, or at least a guy come off the bench is going to give you some minutes, he needs to be on the floor a little bit more. But more importantly, I mean, we didn't do well transition offense. The ball didn't move around. We were very stagnant. We took bad shots. We got a lot of transitional points. We got a lot of turnovers. We got 22 turnovers, 16 points off of that. We did good in transition. And, of course, the younger players, like R.J. Barrett and Knox. And Randall dropped 30 last night. I mean, that's what you picked him up for. So, I mean, there's some light, but not much. This team, Fizdale, listen, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to put this on record right here on this show. Getting 25 wins, over 17 wins from last year, that's not cutting it. Fizdale's got to get at least 35 wins this year for us to start taking this team seriously moving to the next season. There's no, we got 5 more wins than last year. We're doing good. No. I'm not, as this Knicks fan, I'm not hearing that. Out. We need to get more wins than that this year. So Fizdale, figure out who the offense is. We got to get a point guard in there at some point. Maybe not doing a trade, but somewhere along the line we got to get a point guard. But let's talk about them Brooklyn Nets.
Oh yes. I was just about to get into that. All right. So like Berick was saying, let's get into the Brooklyn Nets there. Mm-hmm. Kyrie Irving drops 50 points in his Nets debut, 7th player to actually have the what was it, the highest
debut for a net player.
Yes, of a net player.
57 points led by Stephon Marbury. That was
it's D. Will.
It was D. Will. Sorry, excuse me, D. Will. 57 points, but he is the 5th player on the team that's dropped 50 points. 50 points. That boy went berserk last night. They couldn't stop him last night, 1-on-1. And even on double teams, he was taking 3-point shots off bounds and hitting them. This is who Kyrie Irving is, guys. So all the Brooklyn Nets fans out there, you got a good player. He's going to fill the seats up. He's going to get you
he's a player that I would absolutely pay to watch. I mean, he's an unbelievable talent, and I know I knocked him on a couple of previous shows that how I don't want him, and it's not because of talent. It's because of his leadership issues, and that what he actually displayed in Boston. It kind of turned me off a little bit. But he said, listen, his grandfather, I think his grandfather died.
Yeah.
And he got disconnected from his teammates. And I seen one of the pundits this morning saying, hey, listen, you're a professional, and all great players have to go through some type of death or some type of adversity. And you have to actually, put that aside a little bit, I think it's the same thing on our jobs. I mean, whatever's going on in our personal lives, we have to, we can't take it to work with us, so we're going to have serious problems out there, man.
Yeah, not in our job. We can't afford it. That's why they give us time.
Yeah.
They give you time. They give you bereavement time. It's wise to take it, but if you feel better staying busy, like, remember Isaiah Thomas when he played for the Celtics? He lost his sister.
Yeah.
And he showed up and played and dropped 38 points that game.
Yeah.
Everybody deals with.
But are you buying that from Kyrie? What you saw in his leadership last year?
Listen, his leadership skills were. Listen, in Cleveland, he wanted to get away from LeBron's shadow. Clearly, and he did. He got the trade. In Boston, the idea of getting away from LeBron was to be his own leader on his own team. He had that opportunity, and apparently it just wasn't there. So do I believe what he's saying? Yeah, I believe what he's saying. If that was giving him problems, but then you should have said something to your teammates. You should have said something to your coaches if that was true, instead of keeping to yourself.
Yeah.
So I believe it.
Well, I'm not gonna blame Kyrie for that whole situation last year. Because you had guys that had their own personal agendas on there. Terry Rozier, Jaylen Brown. A lot of these guys were in. They want to actually prove themselves. They want to start. There's a difference. Starters and the bench players make different money. So all these guys want to start. So they're not gonna want to necessarily go with what Brad Stevens will want to do with the ball movement. They want to show that they can actually play.
Yeah, but he was taking shots again when the Celtics. I mean, he was taking shots from way beyond the arc. Nobody was on him. Yeah. Nobody was in the paint to rebound the rock.
Yeah, so, how Kyrie started. If you watch from last year, he started out playing, getting everybody involved, and then, like you said, in the playoffs, he kind of went away from that.
Yeah.
Despite what he went through in Boston, he still was second, All NBA. Despite what he went through. I
mean, listen, let's just look at this right now with a fine-tooth comb. All the off-season acquisitions and the excitement that was building up for the season to start. The season started already. Everybody's played their first game. Now, we look at this now and it's okay, for the Brooklyn fans, you finally got a chance to see a slight snip of what the Brooklyn Nets could look like moving forward this year. I saw KD walking around a few times. That man don't look like he's going to play this year.
No, I don't think so.
And so, with that being said, I combine those two logics together, kind of acts as one big question, whether it's rhetorical or not. You can chime in if you wish. Do you think this Brooklyn team has an opportunity to make some noise in the process of the regular season?
No, because as we've seen from Jared Allen last night, there's limitations from the 5. He had a chance to actually win the game last night. Just to hit one out of 2 free throws, couldn't do that. So between DeAndre Jordan and Jared Allen, this is your building block going forth now for this 3-year run.
Yeah.
They have limitations. But with Kevin Durant, yes, because I was talking to you about this yesterday. And, Kenny Atkinson can go small. Kevin Durant at the 5, even though he's 6'11", but when you start matching him against, like, let's say Joel Embiid in the playoff series, that's going small. So he can go small. He can go Kevin Durant at the 5, Taurean Prince at the 4, Joe Harris at the 3, Karis LeVert at the 2. and Kyrie at the 1. 4 out of those 5 starters are all knockdown 3-point shooters. Karis LeVert, we'll see. Maybe he gets to that level next year for the 2020-21 season. But he can actually his 3-point shooting. We'll see. It looks good this preseason, and in the first game yesterday. But you're talking about 4 guys who are knockdown 3-point shooters who can put the ball on the floor and make plays.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Right now you really got to look at, all right, you're keeping the seat warm for KD, but my concern again, and I'm not a Nets fan, but my concern is Kyrie was doing an awful lot of shooting last night. You got 81 games left.
Yeah, that was the problem too. In the first half, they would have won that game had they was actually using both sides of the floor.
Yeah,
there's a lot of isolation. And listen, Taurean Prince and Joe Harris relies on that ball movement. Those are not necessarily guys on a Kyrie level. So had he got them involved, and they went scoreless in the first half, those two. Joe Harris and Taurean Prince.
I believe the ball has to move around. That's old-fashioned basketball. It has to move around.
Absolutely.
It didn't move around much last night. But if Kyrie hit that shot, we'd be saying, "Yo, the Brooklyn Nets, man."
No, I think like a coach, I would still be looking at the floors. I was like, "Hey, listen, man. Joe Harris and Taurean Prince can't go scoreless in the first half if they, because like I said, they scored. If they scored those two, even like 4 points, they win that game."
Yeah, I mean, listen, you lose a 1-point game in overtime, you look around across the board at everybody point production, like, damn, this guy got a couple more points, or Allen hit the 2 free throws.
Well, yeah, and listen, Brooklyn plays the Knicks on Friday, so let's say
Brooklyn should get that win on Friday. They don't get that win on Friday, something wrong.
I'll be a Knicks fan, man.
I doubt you will.
Yeah, but let's say Brooklyn and Minnesota played on Friday. Play tomorrow. Do you see the Cat?
That would be a home and home, by the way.
Yeah, home and home.
Okay,
do you see the Cat shooting 70% from 3 again?
Probably not, because they're going to have an answer for that. And they should have had an answer for it in this game because, listen, the bottom line is Allen came out to defend him. But, you're so afraid to get up on these 3-point shooters that how many times yesterday were 3-point free throws? About 2 times last night.
Well, he did a decent job in terms of defending the threes when DeAndre Jordan was out there.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, too. But this guy is killing you from beyond the arc. You have to get underneath this guy's chin. All right? Take away his space. You can give him the opportunity to get the ball, but take away his opportunity to get a good look at the basket. If you up on his face, he's going to pull that basketball down. Outside of him, who was getting it done? Wiggins had a couple of good shots in the end, Your boy,
he kept the
minute. Yeah, he was on. Listen,
Andrew Wiggins.
Yeah. So I mean, listen, they had other people scoring, but he was the guy that does a 4-point. He dropped 36 points last night.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think defensively, Brooklyn has to get better.
Everybody's got to get better on defense right now.
Yeah,
Everybody's got to get better.
It's the first game.
I've
seen this. I've been watching the NBA for over 20 years, and you can't go by. You have to wait to wait past the 10 to 15 games to actually get a true. Because we've seen teams get off the good starts in the first 10 to 15 games. You'll think like, oh, okay, well, listen, we're there. All right. But then they fizzle out. So I want to go over these extensions over here, on Monday. So Taurean Prince, 2 years, $29 million. I thought he was an $8 to $9 million a year player, but he had a good preseason. But, all right, $29 million.
$29 million is good money.
It is, but I just don't see him as a $29 million a year
Well, I'm
guy.
sure the Nets, we don't know the legalities and the language of the contract, but I'm quite certain we can put trust in the management that if they gave him a 2-year deal of $29 million, we want to show you that we want you around here, but we also want to show you that show us what you can do with that 2-year deal, and there'll be a further extension. So let's look at that from one end of the spectrum, which is the business point, and of course, obviously from the fans like, well, wait a minute, I don't think he's worth that much. Listen, Brooklyn thinks he is, so give the man what his ceiling is, pay him towards that at his position, what the market is out there, and then let him prove to you within 2 years where he can really be. And guess what? That $29 million is going to balloon to something else. Then he's going to be worth the money. So I think it's a good investment by Brooklyn to do that.
All right, so you have Damian Lillard, C.J. McCollum, all these guys.
They lost last night, by the way.
Yeah.
So the Denver team, that's all everybody about.
Denver's they can go 9 deep. They're pretty good. So we'll see what happens in the playoffs. I think in a 7-game series, I just think the guard play, if Portland and Denver was to meet again, would overwhelm Denver. Because it's a guard-driven league now.
Yeah, but my
Not a
boys
big
over
man league, unfortunately.
My point guards over in Denver got to step up. But go ahead.
Eric Gordon, 4 years, $75 million.
Mm-hmm.
Draymond Green, $99 million.
Well, listen. Draymond is the cornerstone of your championships, and it had
the heart and soul of the team.
Yeah, but okay, think about this. Had it not been for Kyrie's jump shot in that series against Cleveland, Draymond was going to be the MVP of that series.
Okay, absolutely. Yeah, I do agree with you there.
Okay?
I do agree. All right, Kyle Lowry, 1 year, $30 million.
We talked about that last week. That Kyrie deal. What? I'm on the fence as saying that. Yeah, this guy. You're not asking him to be that guy moving forward. My guess is either he's going to finish this year and retire as a Raptor, or something leading to a point where he might be traded midseason. But we got to see what happens.
So Joey Ingles, 1 year, $12 million. I think he should have got a multi-year deal. 1 year though.
Yeah, Ingles is good for that system, but
he's
he's not busting the door open across the NBA. But he's definitely good for what they're doing. So you have again another concept like Prince. You got to pay within the market and what you're doing with your team. So I guess the deal they gave him was pretty much good for Utah. And I think it was good for him too. But you still got to go out there and prove it. You're not dropping 20 points a night. So I mean, what do you expect? Again, what's going out there in the market at your position?
Yeah, you're right about that. And also, one last thing on the NBA note here. Klay Thompson, he's unlikely to return this season.
I believe it.
So what that does for the Golden State Warriors this year.
Your boy D'Angelo Russell better step the hell up and do what he's supposed to do over there, because he
like
don't.
I said last week, I like him better with Klay. I just don't see how they're going to guard any point guards there between Steph and D'Angelo, because
they're going to be they're going to be on the watchful eye on Klay.
Yeah.
I mean on Klay, on his work, his ability to get back, and they're going to be on the watchful eye on Steph, because you really want to monitor his minutes too. That's the guy you want to monitor his minutes, because you need him to be down there every game. You need him to be down there at the end of the season, because I don't know what you're going to get for D'Angelo in that system. Right now, D'Angelo didn't look too good, for the last part of preseason.
No, he had a 29-point game.
And he had a 29-point game.
Yeah.
I'm talking about near the end of preseason. He was a lot of turnovers. He looked like his shot selection was off. He wasn't sure where he needed to be in the offense. We need to get that straightened out. But I'm sure they will get that straightened out.
All right, back now to the NFL here. NFL. Actually, wait. Before we get to the NFL, I want to get into some MLB real fast. The Houston Astros, we were talking about this last week, and the Yankees. Berick, please enlighten us what happened.
With the Astros or the Yankees?
Both the playoff series.
Well, listen, we're gonna just kind of digress on that ALCS, because I'm a Yankee fan and I'm still a little pissed off that we got beat. But ultimately, we lost that series because of two things. One, we didn't have a number one pitcher. They did. They had Cole. They had Verlander. We got the Verlander in Game 5, but we couldn't hit Cole. Now, I'm going to get to those two guys in just 1 second based on your question. And we did terrible runners in scoring position. That's why we got knocked out. We got guys on base, even against these good pitchers, and we couldn't bring them home. So we lost two of the 3 games at Yankee Stadium. Then we had to go to Houston for 2 games, finish the series off down 3-2. And it was a bullpen session for both teams. Both teams didn't have a starting pitcher, yet we still couldn't beat them. Our bullpen was better than theirs, but you know why our bullpen couldn't beat their bullpen? Because we was already worn out from the previous games, because we didn't have good starting pitchers. Now, Garrett Cole is a free agent after this season. Okay, it would behoove the Yankees to go after him. Now, as far as the Astros right now in the World Series, the very same 2 pitchers I mentioned, Garrett Cole and Verlander, they got rocked. They're down 0-2, going to Washington. And then, see, one thing about Washington, they're stealing bases, timely hitting, and most importantly, their pitching is better. Pitching be good hitting in baseball, guys.
All right, let's get to some NFL there. And Mahomes, so he had a dislocated knee.
Mm-hmm.
Should they rush him back?
Well, on the scale of things, no. Give him 1 more week to really get, because I've had major knee injuries before, and I can tell you right now, unless you're a freak of nature like Saquon Barkley, okay, then you really shouldn't be rushing.
And there's two type of knee dislocations from what I'm understanding.
His patella didn't get ruptured.
Yeah, his patella didn't get ruptured. So I think for the other dislocation, they can actually get back into place. You just gotta give it some time to actually heal up there. So you think another week should suffice, though?
Yeah, another week should suffice. But you know what? Knowing the medical staff and the NFL is a lot different. Every game is like the last game. You got to win every game you play. You only got 16 games. So they can get him back at 80% or 85%. They can live with that. 85% Mahomes is better than half the quarterbacks in the NFL right now anyway. So yeah, if the medical staff clears him, that's how it works in the NFL. If you get cleared, you're playing.
Okay. And Bill Belichick is approaching 300 wins. Who deserves more credit for the dynasty? Belichick or actual Brady? And I think Brady gives Belichick the credit. He says he's the greatest.
Well, you know what? Coaches put players in position to be successful. All right? And that is the true tale of the better way to answer that question. So with that response, yeah, Belichick is very much responsible for where the Patriots are. But, of course, a coach is not as good as his quarterback. You need a quarterback. You need players to buy into your theory. His theory is, do your job. And you know what? That is such a great theory to have because that theory can be applied to any job, whether it's in sports or the working field. Don't worry about the next, especially in our work.
Absolutely. Yes.
Don't worry about what the other guy's doing. Do your job. Because you start worrying about your job and someone else's job, you're going to wind up failing. That's been his theory. Do your job. Everyone bought into the Patriot way. They've gotten good players from every team that was subpar. You just fit them in the mix. Belichick made it happen. That's why they're on their way to 7 Super Bowls, which is the most in football. Now, with that being said, yeah, combine all that, yeah, I think Belichick is definitely most responsible for the amount of wins that he's about to achieve. 300 plus, by the way.
All right, we're going to wrap this up. And again, like, subscribe.
Comments, please.
Hit those comments, man. Hit the comments. And just, again, smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm.
Yep.
So, all right, guys.
Thank you so much for watching, guys. Peace. Next week.